Alright guys, another year and we're back in sparring. Now this is going to be a 6 rounds of sparring, not just with this guy but with Juan too later on. So as you can see, I noticed immediately starting out, he was a bit newer after I noticed this reaction. So I wasn't going to, I wasn't going to try and hurt him here. I was just going to try and focus on landing my counters. And I was focusing on the slightly new style here, or basically, it was a bit more boring because I was just trying to stay off the ropes because I was getting hit a whole bunch on the ropes on other days, but I was focusing on staying a lot more bladed and kind of getting into like a Judo Nakatani, crouching stance with a pawing jab, just keeping it out there, keeping everything out there, and yeah. So as you can see, right, I'm pawing with it, managing distance just fine, and I'm not trying to hurt this guy. I just need to make sure that I don't get hit with anything wild, because I know that, sometimes that may happen in these spars where they try and hit you with a big overhand. So I was just making sure that, I wasn't going to get hit with that, and I was super wary of it, because, yeah. But anyway, a slight 1-2 in there, another 2, step back jab, over the top, another 2, and I'm able to escape from the ropes. We're back outside once again. Just kind of flicking that jab out there. I get a cross down the pipe.
30.
Yeah, so I was mainly just focusing on, everything I already do know, but, enhancing it a bit more as always. I was giving him some taps, not trying to hurt him. Caught me with that cross, so I made sure I need to stay wary because I don't want to get sloppy. Now I thought I was going for 4 rounds this time, but fun fact, we did 6.
Right.
I don't know why, but hey, we did. Round 2. Round 2 was, the usual as always. Crouching stance to start off. He matched me in my crouching. I was able to get that cross. He hit me with a jab. Good on him for that. Crouching low because I tried landing that uppercut, which I didn't land. Just trying to target the body. I kicked up somebody's sweater. Sorry for that, for whoever's sweater I picked up. But yeah.
Get out of the corner. Keep moving.
I really was trying to target the body, but luckily I was just barely outside of range where it might hit my shirt, but it doesn't actually hit me in the body at all. I think a couple of them landed though. Got that counter in, going to a pendulum step a little bit while I'm on the ropes, get that movement, and then he lands a jab, so I make sure to stay wary now. Moving backwards, get a hook in.
Get out the corner.
We're back to Dosi going around. I like sparring newer people, not because, I'm able to beat up on them, because, obviously I don't, and I'm not trying to strictly hurt them, but I like working on, newer things with, less risk of getting damaged too heavily. Tried working on that, leaning stuff that was pre-slips that coach was teaching me in the other videos. I get a jab, intercepting while he's moving into me. With a cross, there's that wide looping body shot that he tries to go for, and I hit him after the bell. That was my bad.
Good.
Round 3. Starting out. Go for that cross once again. Parrying those jabs as he tries to circle in. He gets me with a jab as I try and get him with the cross. He gets me again with that jab. So I'm trying to hand fight a bit just to make sure that he doesn't get me again. Get him with 2 crosses. I'm out of the way. He gets me with that body shot. I shell up a bit. Luckily I didn't get, damaged too heavily there, so I'm still able to circle out without much repercussions. Get that cross in. Resets. I'm leaning, and he hits me with a jab while I'm, leaning. Which I gotta work on. I need to make sure I'm not getting caught when I'm not ready. Again with foot feints, and you know that doesn't work with the pendulum step. Luckily it does. Try and go for that jab. That was a bad angle on my part. He was able to land that cross on me. And, you know, we're just playing. Get another cross. Step back. I thought he was going to go in more, so I tried going for another cross. I tried going for a check hook, but he just hit me with a jab. So I just needed to stay wary because, you know, obviously we were going to infighting. He wasn't leaning in too far. So, yeah, that was a pretty bad read on my part. Gets me with another jab, and then he tries to go for that big body shot again. Get the cross in. Luckily, I'm staying far away from those big body shots. I get that cross, and there's another cross from me, and that's about it for part 1. Alright, and then we go back sparring with Juan as always. You know, this is our 3rd or 4th time sparring together, so we have pretty good understanding of each other's styles. Now, I am giving him a slightly different look here. Normally my hand is glued to the left side of my face, but this time slightly more in front. And as I say that, I start to get sloppy with it. He hits me with a jab, or we hit each other. And, you know, one thing about Juan, he always has super slick head movements, so I gotta be wary of that. Get a cross in, and my side goal, other than staying off the ropes the whole time, my side goal is to make sure that, you know, I'm not, or he's not in range to actually hit me with those big bombs, because I know he has power in those hands. So I need to make sure, yeah, I just do that. Try and go for another jab, another cross, 1-2s down the pipe. Cross makes him go back a bit. Go for a double jab, change the direction, and I luckily get off the ropes there. You know, it's a lot. For me, it's a lot of thinking, because I need to make sure, you know, 1, I know where I am situationally, and 2, I need to make sure I change direction to juke them out in time. There's another cross from me.
30.
With that jab again. There's another jab. Tries to go for those hooks. Step back in time. I could have fired that cross much earlier, but I didn't. But luckily he was still in range. He weaves that cross, and yeah, round's about to end. But I try and go for 2 more, which he weaves, and yeah, that's about it.
Right.
Round 2, or round 5 for me, but round 2. As you can see, we're just palming once again. We go for that body jab, but it's a bit too telegraphed. Picking that jab out there. He has a high guard, so I'm just trying to, you know, get it right through that gap in the middle. He hits me with a jab, and luckily I'm able to circle out of that. Picking it out once again. He almost gets me once again. He's getting a lot closer this round, so I gotta be super wary. As you can see, just like that. I get a hook, but he ducks it, so I barely am able to get the clinch in time.
Back doesn't touch the rope. Let's go.
He's chasing me down. As you can see, I go for that cross. Trying to keep my escape routes open. I go for that hook, push him a bit, and then I'm still on the ropes, so he's walking me down pretty well here. So I'm really using a lot of energy to stay far away from that, and you know, the clinch helps me escape. Now, it wasn't the best clinch ever, but hey, it is what it is. Helped me get some time to reset. I was back on the ropes for a bit. Circle out in a tight circle, puts me back in the center of the ring. and I'm able to go back to what I'm doing. Juan is walking me down as always. Not a lot of my shots actually get through due to that high guard. Probing a bit.
Right.
And that's time. Alright, round 6, final round.
Go.
Actually, I haven't looked too bad in all during this spar. Now there are some things that I should be doing, like throwing more combinations as always. But, you know, I try to do what I normally do, and I think this is a good benchmark to start the new year. The cross does not land, but I luckily get a hook, which unbalances him, so I'm able to move away. I actually land a jab on his shoulder, which off-balances him again, so I get time to reset and get back to the middle. I'm moving to the left naturally because I'm staying away from his lead hand, or his rear hand in this case, which is pretty big. If he gets me with one of those, it would suck. So I try and go for the body, circle out to the right for a small portion, just to make sure that I could, you know, have enough space to move to the left. Throwing that jab out there again. There's a 1-2. Just flicking it out there now. Go for another body jab, which does not land on my part. And then he almost gets me here. He's hunting me down. I get a clinch. I'm able to escape, but then I'm back into a corner again. Luckily, I'm able to change the angle and move left. It's a 1-2 on my part. There's another cross. He's coming in with those jabs. I need to make sure, and then you know what? I say screw it, and then we slug it a bit for that, and yeah, that's about it.
Good work.
Guys, I have something to tell you. The spar just ended, so it's time for statistics as always. Round 1, I threw 489 and landed 18 with a 36.73% of landing. Round 2, I threw 37, landed 14, and had a 37.84% of landing. Round 3, I threw 32, landed 17, and had a 53.13% of landing. And all in all, in the final stats, I threw 118, landed 49, and had a 41.53% of landing. So what does that mean? I was pretty accurate all around, about the same accuracy as I always get. Now this is a newer opponent to me, so you know, it is what it is. And I was slightly less active with my punch count in all. My left hand actually landed 72% of the time, so it was pretty good. It was pretty accurate, I would say. It was a big win, but yeah, that's about it for me. Now for my sparring partner in round 1, he threw 31, landed 5, and had a 13% of landing. In round 2, he threw 31, landed 7, and had a 22.58% of landing. And in round 3, he threw 31, landed 8, and had a 25.81% of landing. So finally, he threw 93, landed 20, and had a 21.51% of landing. And for his first time sparring me, I'd say he did alright, right? I mean, hey, we were just playing around. There was a good spar on both sides. I'm sure we were both able to work technical and learn some things. Alright, now part 2 of the spar. Round 1, I threw 51, landed 19, and had a 37.25% of landing. In round 2, I threw 48, landed 17, and had a 35.42% of landing. And in round 3, I threw 53, landed 20, and had a 37.74% of landing. And all in all, I threw 152, landed 56, and had a 36.84% of landing. So all in all, stats are looking pretty good for me. It's about my average. I landed about 60%, so 57% of my left hand, which is pretty good. I was able to circle out using it, and I would say it was a great tool in running away. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I was running away. He has so much power. But let's go to Juan's work. In round 1, he threw 7, landed 4, and hit a 57.14% of landing. In round 2, he threw 16, landed 7, and hit a 43.75% of landing. In round 3, he threw 28, landed 14, and had a 50% of landing. And finally, he threw 51, landed 25, and had a 49.02% of landing. So all in all, his stats were slightly lower today, but you can't fault him. You know why? Because he did 4 rounds before this, and that's pretty wild. I mean, he's an absolute animal, Juan. Like, he does so much cardio. He says he loves sparring, and I told him straight up, dude, you're a beast. But yeah, that's about it for stats. I would say it's a pretty good benchmark, right? I mean, it's a new year, some new stuff that I'm doing. 6 rounds, which is the most rounds I've ever done in sparring in real life. And yeah, I would say it was pretty successful. I did what I needed to do. So that is about it, guys. I'm Kobe Gaza. Please subscribe, and I hope you have a great day.